I organise everyone else and forget about myself. Okay. Alright, so when you get your new brushes, say you get your kits on the weekend, anybody that's got their brush tonight, I'll come over and we'll work on it together. Okay, your brushes, when you first get your brush, it will be rock hard. Can everybody see that? Yeah. See that? It's like rock hard. What it's got inside it is what's called Arabica gel, and it keeps it really, really hard so that until the first time you use it, it'll stay like this and it won't work. If you put a brush like that straight in the monomer, it's not going to work. Okay, so we take a bit of our clarity out, monomer. That's not very good, that dropper. It's nice and blue, this liquid. The reason why your monomers are blue or purple is because it stops yellowing. We've got no blondes in here, have we? Well, you're a little bit. Okay, you know when you dye your hair blonde, they have to use a purple shampoo. Are you fairly light?
I've been every colour of the rainbow.
That's nice. Okay. When you dye your hair blonde, you put a purple shampoo in because it stops yellowing. It's exactly the same with why we use a purple monomer. Ooh. Okay? Alright, now even though it's odourless, it still has an odour, just a slight odour. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to get all the Arabica gel out of our brushes. No using the big brush. In your kit, make sure you use your small brush and not your big brush. Your big brush is for later on when you get better. Okay, now I can still see it's got a lot of gel in it. So we just don't, push it around and really, really cause it to, the bristles to become like that. See, that's not good. Okay, treat it like it's your best tool ever. Wiping. I sit down, my nose runs. Always. Okay, now it's starting to feel right. For all of you girls that have got your kits, I'll come over and fix your brushes for you. Okay, so my brushes, see now how my brush is all together and looks really good, not pulling apart and looks dry. Okay, it's ready to go. Okay. Okay. Now with our monomer, now there's two ways of doing a bead. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a bead that's perfect. Now you're going to do large beads right down to tiny beads. Now the reason for that is some people have huge nails, okay? Some people have tiny nails. I have really tiny nails. So if you put a bead that size on my nail, it would do my whole nail, it would be a waste. Okay, now we need to do 3 beads on your nails. So you need to practice all sizes. A small bead like this will go around the cuticle. A larger bead like this would be down in this section or across the middle. Okay? Alright, now the first way we do a bead is by, make sure your powder, every time you use your powder, do that. So it's flat and you turn that, can you all see? Turning your bead around in the centre. Okay? Can everyone see? What's there? Bead. It's a ball. Alright, put it on and watch what happens. Okay, always wipe your brush. So as soon as you do a bead, you've got to wipe your brush. If there's excess polymer on your brush, it gets stuck in the brush straight away, dries, and then you wreck your brush. That's how quick. Alright, now this bead is still, if you get your sheet I gave you before, you'll see that it is still high. It hasn't got lots of bubbles in it, okay? And it's not too wet and running all over the sheet. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, that's a big bead. Okay, let's do a little bead. So with your monomer, you're putting it in, okay, not being rough with it. Now the less monomer on your brushes, girls, the less powder will make a smaller bead. So you need to wipe quite a bit off if you want to do a smaller bead. Sticking it dead in the centre and turning it around. Okay, now as soon as it's got that watermelon look to it, like the inside of a watermelon, can everybody see that? You know it's ready to go. Okay? All right, now I've got to get it on there before it dries on my brush. Okay? All right. It should come off your brush fairly easily. It shouldn't be stuck on your brush. If it's sticking to your brush, it means it's too dry. Okay, you should be able to take it off on an angle and let it sit there. Okay, now that there is now probably at the stage where it'll dry just like that now. Okay, it will spread out for about between 10 to 30 seconds, this product. It takes a lot longer to dry than traditional monomers. The reason for that is you need all the practice in the world. So you don't want to put a bead down and have no time to work with it. Okay, so see how it just sits up? Doesn't completely flatten out. All right, now we're going to do a smaller one. So we've got a very large, then we've got a medium, and now we're going to go for a small. All right, you're going to find this boring. All right, now wiping off as much as possible and twirling it around dead in the center. Okay, you've got your watermelon-y look. See how it's sort of like a little bit jagged? It's not a perfect ball yet. Yeah, okay, and put that there. All right. So what you're going to do for the next nearly probably 2 hours, hour and a half, is you're going to be filling up these bead sheets, okay? Now what you've got to try to do, I'll be coming around having a look. If you have trouble, you've got to ask me. Just remember the main thing you've got to do is wipe on here before you go back in there, okay? Because if this goes milky, the monomer goes milky, you already know that there's a problem because you're keeping product on your brush. No milky monomer. And if it's too watery, you'll be dropping beads into the container. That's why I don't let you work out of this one. Because once you start dropping it in there, you wreck your container. Like your one, you know how you said, look what's in this? That's because it was all dropped in there. The liquid drops to the bottom. All right? So I want everybody to go over and have fun. The only thing is I've got to turn on the ventilator, so it's going to be a bit noisy. But please, talk to each other as well.